David spares Saul's life. 1 Samuel 24-26. Once again, welcome to our channel. Today our video is David spares Saul's life. In 1 Samuel 24-26, David has multiple opportunities to kill King Saul, who relentlessly pursues him out of jealousy and fear that David will take his throne. Despite these chances, David consistently chooses to spare Saul's life, demonstrating his respect for God's anointed king and his deep trust in God's justice. 1 Samuel 24, David spares Saul in the cave. David and his men are hiding in the caves of En-Gedi when Saul, unaware of their presence, enters one of the caves to relieve himself. David's men see this as the perfect chance to kill Saul, but David refuses. Instead, he stealthily cuts off a corner of Saul's robe to prove that he could have taken his life, but chose not to. After Saul leaves the cave, David calls out to him, showing him the piece of robe and pleading his innocence. David makes it clear that he bears no ill will towards Saul and does not intend to harm him, despite Saul's pursuit. Saul, moved by David's words and actions, momentarily acknowledges David's righteousness, declaring that David will one day be king. However, Saul's change of heart is temporary, and he continues to pursue David later. 1 Samuel 25, David and Abigail. In this chapter, David encounters Nabal, a wealthy but foolish man, and his wise wife, Abigail. David and his men had protected Nabal's shepherds, but when David asks for provisions, Nabal rudely refuses. Enraged, David prepares to attack Nabal's household. However, Abigail intervenes by bringing David a generous gift of food and pleading for mercy. She acknowledges David's future kingship and urges him not to shed innocent blood. David is grateful for Abigail's wise counsel and spares Nabal. Later, God strikes Nabal down, and Abigail becomes David's wife. This episode reinforces David's belief in letting God bring justice rather than taking matters into his own hands. 1 Samuel 26, David spares Saul again. In a second encounter, David sneaks into Saul's camp at night and finds Saul asleep, with his spear stuck in the ground beside him. David's companion, Abishai, urges him to kill Saul, but again David refuses. Instead, he takes Saul's spear and water jug as evidence. The next morning, David calls out to Saul from a distance, showing that he had spared Saul's life yet again. Saul, once more, expresses remorse and acknowledges David's righteousness, though David wisely knows not to trust Saul's words. In all three chapters, David demonstrates remarkable restraint and faith, refusing to harm Saul even when it seems justifiable. He trusts God to fulfill his promises in his own time and believes that only God has the right to remove Saul from the throne. David's actions reflect his deep respect for God's sovereignty and justice, highlighting the contrast between Saul's disobedience and David's integrity. Thanks for watching. For more blessings and more videos, please subscribe to our channel. God bless you and your family.